Hello and welcome back to Lawful Neutral Plays Neverwinter Nights 2. I'm your host Lawful. In this Neverwinter Nights 2 build video, we're doing a Rogue Fighter, Shadowdancer, Invisible Blade, Upper Damage build video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Neverwinter Night 2 builds videos like this. Do not forget hitting that notification bell so be updated much more. Here are the pros and cons of this build. Let's start with the pros, shall we? Your reflex saves, they're really high. You're going to have high dex too, so yeah, the AC will kick in very nicely. Another thing is your tumble is going to be in the 30s plus. With items and such, it can go beyond that. Another good thing about this build is your cost of armor and weapons. Yeah, that's right, it's going to be very cheap for you because eventually you go to cloth, which will help you out greatly on armor class. Another thing that is good is high in plain sight. Last but not least, you could do bleed damage on foes if you do a sneak attack correctly. Disadvantages as follows. If foes are immune to sneak attacks, yeah, that bleed will be absolutely useless. You're only restricted in order to get the bleed damage with the crook eye and the dagger. One of those two. And things, last but not least, I'm going to say things will be a bit slow when you actually level up until you actually get past the invisible blade levels. Let's talk about the races, shall we? Let's go over the races. I'm going to be honest, there's only going to be two for this build to affect the extra feat. For halflings, strong heart halflings, you get the small size. In other words, is you get +1 to armor class in certain situations. +2 stealth checks with this race, and of course sub race. Good aim if you're going to go that route. Keen hearing, good on the listen checks. And the extra feat for level 1. This is what we want. Another is a human, which gives you 4 extra skill points, and of course the extra feat as well. Oh yeah, the strong heart halfling, that experience penalty, yeah, that'll go away big time since we're doing a rogue type of fire dealing more. Now I decided to pick the strong heart halfling, so let's go over the classes, shall we? It's going to be total for it. We're going to start off the rogue at level 1. Then we're going to go to fighter for 1 level, then we'll bounce it back between the rogue and fighter until, of course, each of those will be at level 4. After that, with the requirements we already get, it's a Shadowdancer. So we're going to get dodge and mobility right away and get the move silently, hide, and tumble from the ranks. Once that's done, then we'll get invisible blade with the bluff. Yeah, we'll get that as well, plus Fenton. We'll have to get his combat expertise and the weapon focus, the crook eye. Yeah, that's the weapon we're going to use for that. Also you can use as a dagger as well. For alignment, any alignment will do. If you don't want to be smited, neutral, chaotic neutral, or lawful neutral is the way to go. Now for Deity, this is just for RP flavor, or you just like to pick a favorite deity. For this build, it won't affect anything, but still, it's pretty cool though to pick a good one. I like Timora, that's good for good aligned rogues. As for evil, I prefer either Shar or Mask. Yeah, I'm loving Shar, thanks to Baldur's Gate 3. Thank that game for that. Now for ability scores, let's go over each and every one of them at this time. First of all, for ability scores, strength at 14, that's going to be one of our secondary skills. We're not going to level up, but still it's good. Dexterity, that's going to be our number 1 skill. We're going to get that maxed out big time. Yeah. Constitution at 14 for a little bit more hit points. Intelligence to 14. Yeah, a little bit AC in certain part of the Invisible Blade class if we're not wearing any armor, plus more skill points. We're going to need a lot of those. Wisdom and Charisma, we're going to leave at 10, unfortunately. Yeah, Wisdom, yeah, our little will saves will suffer a bit. That's all right. Or I should say reflex saves, on the other hand, won't suffer. We'll make up the will saves in the items, of course. So again, strength, constitution, intelligence of 14, dexterity 16, our main stat, and wisdom and charisma at 10. So let's go ahead and go over the background, shall we? Now, for background, if you are fear of your will saves, then of course go for ones like, for example, Devout. That's a good way to go. You lose a -1 point bluff. Other ones, there's good ones as well if you want to go for more will saves. However, a nice one I like is I think it's Wild Child. That's the way to go. If you want to play a safe route, no background is good as well. So let's move on to the next one. As for skills, we're going to do the main 4. That's bluff, move silently, hide, and of course, last but not least is tumble. So we're going to get those maxed out right away. We're still going to do disable devices because we're rogues. If I remember correctly, yeah, besides hide, it's open locks as well. I have a list on them somewhere. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, spot, search, those are the ones we're going to do as well. Use magical device. That's going to be coming into play with this build, so we're not going to max it out completely, but it'll be maxed out enough to use a certain monk robes. Yeah, we're going to go that route for the armor. And of course, there we go. We're going to put some points in the spellcraft if we can as well too, since it's cross class. But we will pick a feat that will make cross class skills 1 point. So that's about it for skills. I'll go ahead and go over those when we level up. Now, for feats, this is important. We want able learner. You're asking Fenton, why is that? Well, we're going between the fighter and rogue, and we're going to need to not have cross-class skills to interfere. Instead, it'll be 1 point, and that'll be for the main 4, which is bluff, move silently, hide, and tumble. So that's why we pick able learners. This way, instead of 2 points of cost, it costs 1, which is wonderful, folks. And the other one we're going to go ahead and do right away is dodge. That's a prerequisite for the Shadowdancer Prestige class. And of course that does is dodge bonus to AC against attacks, which is good. Now I'm going to go ahead and give some final advice. You're going to start a little bit weak, but once you get the Shadowdancer class, you'll be able to stealth in and out. Once you're in Invisible Blade class, you get an edge. Once you level up, which are more 2-weapon fighting, you're going to be a beast. Yeah, once you get the perfect 2-weapon fighting, you're going to wreck everything in sight because your main hand, offhand will be the same without any penalties at all. So let's go ahead and level up our character next, shall we, everyone? It's time to go ahead and level up. So we're going to be jumping back and forth between the classes of the game. So we're going to go ahead and do that with the fighter class. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get that Krukai weapon. That's why we're doing it for level 2. And also get an extra feat as well. So what we're going to do is bluff, thanks to able learner, hide and move silently, and of course tumble. We just made our cross-class skills all into 1 point instead of 2. So what we're going to do is mobility. I'm not going to explain the skill on that because we're really going to just use that for a Shadowdancer. This does adds +4 dodge bonus AC against foes who has opportunities attacks against you and such. Well, I did explain it, but still, that's about it. So, yeah, so now we'll be able to equip that weapon. It's one of my favorite weapons. You can also use a dagger as well. Up to you all on that. That's the 2 weapons you need to focus on. So we're going back to rogue for a while. At least sleep for level 2 to 4. So what we're going to do is bluff for the rogue. And then what we're going to do is disable devices, hide, move silently. Yeah, I want to make sure I do this right. Yeah, move silently. Open locks. We're rogues. Yeah, we're going to get some skill up in that. Search, spot, spellcraft if we can. Yep, good thing we could do that. Tumble and use magical device. As for feats, we're going to do is combat expertise as a prerequisite for Fenton, which Fenton, by the way, is of course the skill for the Invisible Blade. As for evasion, so when you do a reflex save, normally when you succeed, you take half damage. This time you take none. As for combat expertise, you get 3 plus bonus to AC. However, you get -3 attacks. That's good for tanking. But we're using that for the Fenton skill. So let's go ahead and do that when we get to that point, of course. Let's go ahead and keep on going with the rogue. Every level's a 4. You get to pick ability score to boost up. We're going to do is dexterity. Everything in the dexterity. Now, this is before with skills. Bluff, disable devices, hide, move silently, open locks, search, spot, spellcraft if we can. If not, we'll leave it there. Just get the extra point. Tumble and use magical devices. We'll call it the rogue skills. That's what we're going to nickname it. And we get sneak attack. So anytime we do a sneak attack, every few levels or so, it goes up. As for trap sense, it has a +1 bonus when we're looking for traps. And let me tell you, there's a bunch of traps could be deadly. Yeah, traps can kill you in Dungeons and Dragons. Let's level up with our rogue some more. So let's go ahead and do, of course, the rogue class. Just make sure everything's right. Pick the rogue skills, but make sure you pick bluff, hide, move silently, and tumble. That's very important. We're getting close, of course, to getting a Shadowdancer level. We'll be able to take care of business once we're in the fire level with that, thanks to the able learner. One of the most useful feats they add in Neverwinter Nights too. I love it absolutely. Yeah, thank you Obsidian for that, by the way. Everyone should thank them for that. And Uncanny Dodge. So let's go ahead and go over that real quick. So Uncanny Dodge does the following. The character retains his or her dex bonuses to AC even if they're caught flat-footed or attacked by a hidden or invisible foe. That's good to know. Let's go ahead and level up our fighter side for a while. So let's go ahead and get out of that. Yeah, I was supposed to make sure I do that right. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I forgot. I have to go back and forth. You have to go back and forth with this build, so just use my timestamps for it. There's a fighter, so let's go ahead and do that. Bluff, hide, move silently, and tumble. So they're at 9 right now. So for tumble, every 10 points, you get 1 free AC. And of course, if you have dex bonuses like crazy, yeah, that tumble goes up. So does your AC. Now we're going to go ahead and pick the weapon focus. Either pick a kukai or a dagger. Up to you on that. Those curvy word daggers or the actual daggers. Since Invisible Blade requires it. I like to wear funky daggers. Those are really cool. And I love the damage on it too as well. They're fast. They're fun to use to abuse on foes. Now we get ourselves another feat thanks to being a fighter. We're going to pick the Fenton. That is the prerequisite we need for the Shadow Blade. And that does is when we use on a foe, use our bluff skill, we force our foe to lose their or her AC bonus. Well, not AC bonus, I mean Dex bonus. Which is good. Later on, if I remember correctly, the Invisible Blade gets one that you cannot roll below 5. It's like a reroll. Just like the Halfling race in Baldur's Gate 2. And of course, the weapon focus, you get +1 of the weapon of your choice that does damage. So for example, dagger, add +1 to that for your attack damage. So let's keep on going, everyone. Just the usual suspects: bluff, hide, move silently, and of course tumble. I'm sorry, this is rare. No feats for the fire level. Let's go to the next fire level, make it 4, even Steven. And we're going to go ahead and pick, as you guessed it, dexterity. Every point in the dexterity. This is a dexterity type of build. And we're going to get to 26 by the time this is done and over with. So let's keep on picking the 4 usual suspects: hide, move silently, bluff, and tumble. And we're got 1 free AC thanks to 10 points in tumble. So now we're going to pick his greater weapon focus. It's weapon specialization. My French, sorry. So here's the deal. You get +2 damage bonus to the weapon of your choice. So this stacks with the other ones as well. The +1 on the weapon focus. So that's +3. That's what we want with this build. And of course, when we get the perfect 2 weapon fighting, both hands will be the same amount of damage, which will be great. So let's go on to the next one. Is the Shadowdancer. Now we got the prerequisites out of the way, everyone. So let's go ahead and pick the Shadowdancer Prestige class. We got the dodge, mobility, and the three skills. We're only going to go ahead and do is bluff. Let's see here. Hide, move silently. And of course, last but not least is tumble. If we have more points, I'll probably put 2 each into open lock and disable devices because they're a little bit lacking thanks to the fact we were the fire levels for some this build. It happens, but it's all right. Now, real quick, we're going to go ahead and go over this 2 weapon fighting, but first let's talk about that. So normally you get penalized heavily with 2 weapon fighting. Instead, it's, if I remember correctly, -6 to the primary hand and -10 to the offhand. Well, no, it's -4. But if you have 2 light weapons like we have, that'll be -2, -2. So that's good. It's also prerequisite for the other 2 weapon fighting feats. Hide in plain sight is if you're not attacking anything, as long as they don't have true sin, you can stealth in and out, 5-second cooldown. But it's very powerful to be stealthy and do, I should say, sneak attacks. Now we're done with that. We're going to go ahead and do is the next prestige class is Invisible Blade, thanks to 2 weapon fighting. And let's go ahead and go over that. Bluff, we'll do that. Let's see here. Hide, move silently, tumble, disable devices, and open locks. This is a partial rogue class, really. So yeah, you should be a rogue definitely for this. And there we get unfettered defense and bleeding wounds 1. So let's go over each of them. And yeah, we'll talk about the cloth situation later. Why are our halflings wearing cloth? For now, it's 23 AC or so, but we'll get that caught up, of course, if we definitely put some more intelligence items in there. So unfettered defense is this. When you wear cloth, your intelligence bonus gets added to it. As for bleed damage, what happens is you get 1 hit point on foes. If you do a sneak attack, they bleed for a few rounds. That goes up every few levels. That's what that does. Pick the Visible Blade skills like I did in the previous level. Just make sure you do hide, move silently, bluff, and of course tumble. No persuade this time, folks, for those of you who always see my build videos. I'm sorry, no feats of Invisible Blades, but that's alright. And let's pick that still. Okay, since it's level 12, every level's a 4, we'll put points in dexterity. So this is a dexterity build, just a reminder. Let's go ahead and do it again. Bluff, disable devices, open locks, hide, move silently, and of course, you guessed it, tumble. So it's going to be tumbling around quite a bit. And Bleeding Wounds does is 2 hit points of damage you do with foes per round, which is 3 rounds. The first one is a total of 3 damage. We get that double to 6. This will go up at certain points. And that can be a difference between life or death. So we're going to go ahead and look for a certain one. Where is it at? Improve 2 weapon fighting. So we get ourselves when we get our, I think it was the second offhand attack. It's a -5 penalty on top of the normal penalties, but that's alright. This is also a prerequisite for greater 2 weapon fighting. In turn, after greater 2 weapon fighting, after getting high dexterity and such, you guessed it, you get perfect 2 weapon fighting. We got 17 dex plus already. We got 19, so we're able to get that with ease. Let's keep on going with the Invisible Blade, shall we? Bluff, disable devices, hide, move silently, open locks, and tumble. Yeah, you're going to be doing some B&E, folks, but it's cool, though. You're a rogue class partly, which is great, right? You like to break into things. You don't like to smash chests because all items get broken. Let's keep on going. Bluff, let's see here, disable devices, hide, move silently, open locks. You don't want to break anything, and tumble. And we get Fenton Mastery, so I'll go over each of them again. As for the bleeding damage, now is 3 damage per each round, total 3 rounds, which is 9 damage total. You get to hit if, of course, foes are not immune to sneak attacks or critical hits, or sneak attacks in this case. Fenton Mastery is this. If you roll less than a 5, it's like a reroll when you do a Fent. In other words, it's you have to get 6 or above, you're fine. So yeah, it makes it more easier for Fent to actually work. So let's now we're done with the Invisible Blade. Go to the Rogue class next. We're now back at the Rogue class. You're all asking why you cannot do Invisible Blade anymore. That's only capped at 5 levels for the Prestige class. It's not Neverwinter Night 1. You keep on going on that. I would have keep on going on that as well. So we're going to go ahead and catch up on our Rogue skills. But make sure you do is a max out Bluff, move silently, hide, and of course tumble. If you have any points in Spellcraft, go ahead and do so, which we do now, thanks to the fact we've been bouncing back and forth with the other classes and Prestige classes. Now, obviously, we get another sneak attack bonus, 3d6, add to our sneak attack damage, and greater 2 weapon fighting. So that is, we get a 3rd attack, and with that, it's a -10 penalty on the 3rd attack. That's the downside. But don't worry, like I said before, perfect 2 weapon fighting is like this. Yeah, that penalty goes bye-bye. I'll explain in greater detail. But we have to have 19 dexterity, and we definitely have that 19 dexterity. We're exactly at 19, so we're taking care of business on that end, which I felt important. So we're at level 16. Every level's a 4. Dexterity at 20, so there you have it. We got 20 dexterity. We're going to even things out with this build. So yeah, you always want even numbers. I learned that while I was doing these builds in the past, because even numbers, you get yourself a ability mod, they call it, which just gives you a +1 the higher you go. And of course, you get to the negatives, then you get the lower you go in the negatives on that. If you go below, of course, I believe if I remember correctly, 10. That's why I always even things out. Well, keep on going with the Rogue. We'll pick the Rogue skills. Again, the main 4, I'll say at this point. Now, we got 20 points in the tumble, so we get total 2 free armor class, which is good. Now, Neverwinter Nights 1 used to be 5 points, and we would have got 4, but this is 2, though. They've been balancing that out like crazy. So let's keep on going with the Rogue class some more, and we'll pick the Rogue. Yep, there you go. Pick your Rogue skills. Make sure the main 4 is really up there. So we'll at least definitely, by the time this build's over, have maxed out the 4. As for, of course, open locks and disable devices, they'll be up there in a high spot. We'll just keep on going. Make sure I get everything. And there you go. We get improved uncanny dodge. Let's see here. What this does is a character with defeat cannot be a victim of a sneak attack unless the attacker performing sneak attack has 4 more levels in the class than that character. So, for example, you're level 10, and the rogue who sneak attack you has to be level 15 above in order to receive bonuses against you, but they cannot. Now, improved critical assist of the weapon of your choice. So when you do a dice roll, normally said weapon, for example, longsword is 19 to 20. Now it's 17 to 20. So in this case, our funky blades, they're normally 18 to 20. But if you look at your character sheet, the new numbers is 15 to 20 at this point. So that means you will be able to critical hit more often. Keen stacks with that, and also the superior, I think it's improved critical or something like that, stacks with that as well for the weapon master class. Just tell everybody that knowledge anyways, in case you want to build a hybrid rogue weapon master build in the future. I have a build like that with the fire levels as well with the rogue too. And there we go, we picked the rogue class, the usual suspect for skills, nothing else for feats, but your sneak attacks and of course trap sense definitely gets up there. So let's keep on going with the rogue for a while, and let's see here. Okay, I want to make sure I read my notes. I'm being careful here. So now we're going to go ahead and put a point since it's at level 20 dexterity. So let's see here. Bluff, the mage of 4, which is usually, yeah, like I said, for bluff. Move silently, hide, and of course tumble, and then get everything else up there. If you can do spellcraft, go ahead and do so. So we got 10 points now in spellcraft. So every level of 10 for spellcraft, or spellcrafting they call it sometimes, you get yourself a +1 bonus against spells with saving throws. So what we're going to go ahead and do at this time, since weapon finesse is going to be a little bit late, we're going to go ahead and get that. So weapon finesse works like this exactly. Instead of your strength modifier is into play when you do attacks, it'll be dexterity. So instead of +2 strength modifier, and you have dexterity modifier +4, it'll be the +4 instead, but with certain weapons. And we have those weapons we have for this build. In other words, light weapons for that. Okay, folks, we're in the epic levels. Woohoo! We're going to go ahead and do some fire levels for a while. 5 to 8. We'll get the last 4 fire levels. You'll see why. So we'll put the 4 there, which is bluff, hide, move silently, and tumble. There's your epic character. Now, we're going to immediately right away just go ahead and do his, I think it's called Great Dexterity. This will give you a +1 ability score point of your choice. And in this case, it's dexterity. We're going to need a lot of dexterity because we're going to build towards, you guessed it, to get that 25 dexterity, well, 26 to even things out for the perfect 2-weapon fighting. Now, put the 4 there, which is bluff, hide, and move silently, and of course, tumble. Yeah, we're getting close to 30 on that, by the way. Now, once again, we're going to go ahead and do his epic prowess. So all of our attack rolls will be +1. So if we do 4 attacks per round, add +1 to those each. And since we're dual wielding, add +1 to those as well. Sorry, I get excited with dual wielding builds like that. So let's keep on going with the fighter. Yeah, we're just keep at it. Let's see here. Bluff. Yep, you guessed it. Hide, move silently, and of course, tumble. Let's add another point in dexterity. I'm trying to look for it. Where is it at? There you go. Now, or we get ourselves another dexterity point. This will help us out greatly when we're working toward, you guessed it, that nice perfect 2-weapon fighting. Yeah, that's 25 dexterity in order to be able to have access to that. Let's go ahead and fire. This is the last time fire levels. Level 24. Every level's a 4. Dexterity at 24. So don't panic at all. We'll definitely reach that 26 by the time this build is over with. Now we're going to go ahead and do this greater weapon focus. And our weapon, our choices there. This will give you additional +1 bonus with a selected weapon. Now this stacks with other attack bonuses, including weapon focus. So in other words, it'll be +1 is 2. And then the weapon specialization is another 2. Which is, by the way, is a total of 4. So let's go with the rogue. So the rest of this build, we're going to go rogue all the way. So let's keep on going. So let's do the rogue class. Now we do the main 4, then the rogue skills as well as spellcraft if you can do it, which by then you can. Disable devices open locks will be at 20+. The other ones will probably either reach it or barely reach it. Or not even close, but still it's good enough with this build. Yeah, we're going to make sure tumble's all right. There we go. I'm just going to double check. And also our use magical device will be up there so we can start using some items and robes as well. We get another sneak attack. Surprise, surprise, everyone. And we're going to go ahead at this time do great dexterity. Now this will give us 25 dexterity. So next time we get a feat, guess what? We'll be able to do it. So we're at 25 dexterity. So level 28, we'll get 26. Our mod on that will be +8. So let's do the rogue class. Let's see here for a second. Yeah, the main 4 and then the rest of the rogue skills. And yeah, by then you should definitely have spellcraft up there. Or I call it 1 free, I think, saving throws against spell point. And we get ourselves our trap sense +4 since some rogues, which is good. Let's pick the rogue class again. Rogue all the way from here out, everyone, because they're a really good, fun class to play as. Let's keep going. There you go. Let's see here. And yep, the main 4. And our tumble should be at 30. So that's 3 free armor class. So now we're going to go down there and we're going to go ahead and pick perfect 2-weapon fighting. So we got the 25 dexterity there. So here's the deal. Your main hand and your offhand will be the same. So there'll be no penalties for the main hand. And then your offhand will be the same. So yeah, in other words, you know those other penalties you have? Kiss them goodbye. That's right. It's gone. Out of here. So your main hand and offhand will do the exact same damage, which is great. Oh, we get another free feat as well. So you know what we're going to pick? We're going to pick Epic Weapon Focus. Now, this gives you +4 bonus to all attack rolls. This will replace your other weapon focus feats. So instead of +2, it doubles to +4. And then +2 weapon specialization. That's +6. And yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of damage from this point on. So we're at level 28, all points in dexterity. So we have 26 dexterity. That'll be the, I should say, unbuffed cap. No, I should say potions, no items to buff it up if you're going that route. But with potions and items, yeah, your dexterity will be a lot higher. So let's keep on going, shall we? Yeah, we're going to level up our rogue some more. We're going to pick the rogue class. Let's go ahead and do his bluff. Again, disable devices, hide, move silently, open locks. This is just a review. Search and spot, spellcraft, use magical devices, and definitely tumble. We're just going to max out tumble just in case we our dex mod really kicks it up there. And plus, if we get any of the tumble items, we get another free armor class. Yeah, we're going to try to squeeze that in as much as possible. And by the way, the Invisible Blade Intelligence mod, if you decide not to use any cloth, yeah, that does stack as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do at this time is I'm going to go for your survivability, which is toughness, which is a good way to go, or blind fighting. But I prefer toughness because it'll give you 1 hit point per level, and it's all retroactive. So if you go for level 30, you pick that 30, it'll be 30 free hit points. That's the difference between victory and defeat sometimes. So we do it again, pick all the skills I'm picking at this point, make sure bluff, hide, move silently, and tumble are maxed out at 33. This is it, folks. Last time we're going to level up our character. Get everything done at this point because you're not going to come back at all. There's no respec in this game. You want respec and go into the more modern games or MMOs. So we're going to go ahead at this time. I'm going to pick is improved sneak attack. So we'll get 1d6 worth of sneak attack damage. With that done, we're done leveling our character from 1 to 30. So next up is gear advice and much more. Alright everyone, here's a reminder again how attributes work in Neverwinter Nights 2 for items. So if you want, for example, 10 dexterity, it has to be actually 10 dexterity. You cannot do 8 on one item and 2 on the other. It'll be 8 first and it'll take the highest. Just remember that. As for attributes, you want strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, and wisdom up there. Basically most of the stats. Dexterity, focus on that first. Intelligence second. As for immunities, go for that. Definitely go for will save items. Big time. As for skills, you really want is anything like tumble. That's a good idea to go for that. As for weapons, always haste keenum if you can. If not, grab some haste boots. Yeah, constant haste absolutely does help as well. True seeing as well as you see before you. If you get any damage bonus, go for acid and of course sonic. Just acid on one hand, sonic on the other as well. If there's any other items you want to get for consumables, potions helps as well since you have used magical devices. Yeah, go for scrolls. This way you can summon help as well. Next up, combat test. Now, we're going to do this combat test. Already buff our characters up. We got ourselves a summon as well thanks to use magical device on a scroll. Level 6, but I'll take it. Now, we're going against foes we could critical hit against and sneak attack against. This time, the orcs. So what we're going to do is get in the range. What we're going to do is hide in plain sight. I'm going to go after the shaman. Yeah, there you go. Sneak attack. It died in 1 hit. So we're just going to keep on stealthing in and out. And yeah, with our tumble, we did get exposed, but that's all right. And there we go. We'll also use Fenton as well. So this way, they lose their dexterity bonus. They are most likely to die much more easier. Let's go ahead and take that fool out. Yeah, because the foe was trying to use bow and arrow against us, we get ourselves a nice bonus against them, which adds our sneak attack abilities against them, which is more damage. So yeah, you want to stealth in and out big time, unless of course they have true seeing. Then try to take out the true seeing foes. Then stealth in and out and just wreck everything in sight. Now, if you have a party, go ahead and send in your tank first. Then you go in there and just sneak attack away. You see, I'm clearing the battlefield, wrecking everything in sight. Also, thanks to perfect two-weapon feat, our damage will be absolutely the same. Our bait died, but that's alright. That was the intended purpose, was just a distraction. So this way we wreck foes. Now, you're wondering, everyone, what about foes that are immune to sneak attacks, like the undead? Well, guess what? No problem at all. We're going to depend absolutely on one thing and one thing only. Perfect two-weapon fighting. So we just tore up that lich. So all we have to do is just run. If we need to, we'll just los our foes. So this way, we'll get ourselves a nice advantage in attack. They won't attack us first. That's the advantage there. There you go. We're attacking this lich. That's going to die. There you go. We just hit Fenton. And yeah, it lost its dexterity bonus. And we did more damage against that as well. So now we're going to take out the lich, and that's about it. Once we take out this last spellcaster, the other foes will surround us. That'll be no problem at all. And due to the fact that I have a very good will saves, it won't do any instant death attacks or such. Yeah, I have items that's stacked up nicely. So we're going to go ahead and just clear everything else out. Just demonstrating at this point that perfect two-weapon fighting is the way to go with this build. That's the only way to go, because in fact we'll do some extra damage. We can't do sneak attacks because the undead's immune to it, but we have other factors we could use. We could use Fenton to help us out, so this way they lose their dex bonus against us. We do a little bit more damage against them. There you go. We're just taking out these skeletons at this point. They're doing less damage against us due to the fact we have very high armor class. Yeah, we have 40 plus, so with this build you could definitely survive as a tank if you want to go that route. But I prefer sending a tank in first. Then you go in there and do a lot of damage. That's how you clear out basically. Oh wait, I almost forgot this one. This mummy was moving way too slow. There you go. That is how you definitely win against foes that are immune to sneak attacks. Here's some final advice before I end this video guide. You'll start off slow, but once you're the Shadowdancer prestige class from one level, you get high in plain sight. And then once you get the visible blade, you get to wear cloth, which is great because it'll save you a lot of money on buying armor. Now, once you get the perfect two-weapon fighting, your DPS will be really up there. Thanks to your main hand and offhand will be exactly the same. Against foes that are not immune to sneak attacks, you'll wreck them big time. The Invisible Blade is a very surprising good prestige class if you really know how to use it and abuse it. Fenton is a good surprising skill to abuse, especially if your bluff is really up there. This is a fun build to use, and of course if you need to, have your party members tank for you while you go in and just wreck everything in sight. After, of course, they go in first. This is it for my Neverwinter Nights 2 Rogue Fighter Shadowdancer Visible Blade Uber Damage build video. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thanks for watching, and have a great day or night. Do please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more guides, builds, and other videos from Neverwinter Nights 2. If you like what you see, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner or YouTube suggestion on the bottom left hand corner. Have a great day or night, and do enjoy the view.